Okay, so this will be another fun video that we're going to be doing today. That's for damn certain. Um, okay, but anyways, guys, welcome to another talk video here. And this one I decided to do for a funny, and I want to make this one thing clear. This is not meant to stir up drama. This is not meant to stir up anything. I just thought it would be fucking funny, and I'm ready to see how sensitive people will truly be from this. It's a testament, if you will. It's a really big testament. And in the background, I'm going to be playing some Sonic Speed Simulator. I know I'm not really the biggest fan here, but there is a Sonic X Shadow Generations event going on here, where I'm able to get Doomwing Shadow, which, honestly, it might be super-based, kind of like Supersonic and stuff, and it's Shadow-related, so in other words, I want it. I want all of that, you know? That's just how it's going to be. And if there's any weird lag stuff, long story short, the internet has been really chugging as of late, so if you see some weird inconsistencies during this recording, that's why. But anyways, what I'm going to be talking about is actually Sonic Frontiers related. Now, why am I talking about Sonic Frontiers, you may ask? Well, because this is going to involve someone who got well, maybe not upset with me per se, but they definitely decided to leave my existence after this incident, and I thought it was super fucking hilarious. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's little funny talk video. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be talking all about it. It's going to be great. So, what's the sitch? What's the story, you may ask? Well, first, we need to start with my history on Sonic Frontiers, right? Because a lot of you guys probably don't know what my ordeal with Sonic Frontiers is. So I'll try to explain it as best I can. Basically, long story short, for those who do not know, Sonic Frontiers is, well, actually still technically the latest mainline Sonic game. I don't necessarily count Sonic X Shadow Generations because it's a remaster, and I don't know, the Shadow story still takes place during the events of Generations, so it's technically not the latest in terms of the story. I mean, it technically is, but at the end of the day, it's still a Generations remaster, so, you know, there's that. But anyways, when Sonic Frontiers was about to come out, right, we knew very little about this game. But once we saw more stuff revealed, especially when IGN was given the role to reveal the gameplay, and look, money or fucking not, could we just not give IGN shit? They don't know what they're doing. I don't think they ever have. I'm starting to wonder if they ever have, because, like, Jesus, man. It makes no sense why they're behind the wheel of all this, but let's get back on topic, shall we? So anyways, Sonic Frontiers comes out, right? And we know that it is a open world Sonic game, or open zone, as they call it, right? And I won't go over too much of what Sonic Frontiers has or doesn't have, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are already aware of the existence of Frontiers and what it does and doesn't have and whatnot, especially if you're a Sonic fan. I mean, hell, you probably are a Sonic fan, and that's why you clicked on this video in the first place, so, you know, it'll work out in the end. So we'll just go with that. But anyways, so at first, when Sonic Frontiers released, I really liked the game, right? And I even went on saying stuff like, oh, this is one of the best Sonic games we've ever gotten in a long while, right? And don't get me wrong, I technically wasn't wrong, obviously. In comparison to the previous titles we've gotten, yeah, Frontiers is a hella big step up in comparison to what we previously had. But my opinion started to change on Frontiers. So I started speaking about my displeasure with Frontiers a little after Update 2 came out. And in case you guys do not know, there was like 3 free DLC updates for Frontiers that just added a bunch of new stuff and whatever. Not a big deal, right? So basically, there was a bunch of updates for the game, and around after Update 2's release, I started discussing a bit of my displeasure towards the game and me not really enjoying it. And I'll get to the main reasoning of my shit later, but I want to make this one thing clear. Despite me sharing my displeasure with Sonic Frontiers, after the release of Update 2, I actually started disliking it a little before Update 1. Hell, maybe not even a little before, like a lot before. Now, the reason I never spoke up about it is because I was always talking on Twitter, saying shit like, oh yeah, this is my favorite Sonic game, I'm having a blast, this is amazing. I basically just lied to everybody's face, is essentially what went on, if you will. Which, you know, I shouldn't have done, you know? I was, basically, I was a big old liar. I will apologize for that. I did not mean to lie about, liking Sonic Frontiers. That's my fault, you know? But, like, as long as we can respect each other as people, you know, that's chill, right? But what didn't I like about Sonic Frontiers? What exactly made me change my mind? What exactly made me go, hey, you know what? This game isn't for me. Well, it's primarily because Frontiers kind of botched one thing that I love replaying Sonic games for. Now, I'll go ahead and ask you guys this. Like, what do you guys... Why do you guys replay Sonic games, right? I'm sure everybody has a bunch of different answers, but my personal reason for replaying Sonic games is to replay a lot of the iconic levels. Even for Sonic Frontiers, a game that I do not like in the slightest, I still managed to have a lot of moments with the game in terms of its level design. It's not good, don't get me wrong, and it's automated up the ass, but I would rather play a Sonic Forces level than a Sonic Frontiers level. The levels, quote-unquote, in Frontiers, or as they're labeled as cyberspace levels, are essentially the levels that you get to play that are in the style of, like, Sonic levels, right? They all reuse assets from Green Hill, Chemical Plant, and now Sky Sanctuary for some fucking reason. Hell, I'm surprised Forces didn't do that first. And their level layouts are recycled shit from older Sonic games. Now, on paper or whatever, you're probably, if you go to like the context of the cyberspace levels, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, Shiva, what's the big deal? Cyberspace was pulling shit from Sonic's memories, so of course he would see stuff like Green Hill and all that shit. Okay, what about the city that looks nothing like any cities that Sonic has ever been to before? And if he's recognizing the level layouts, why isn't he recognizing the design of said levels? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, and not to mention that one of those levels is Skyrail. Like, it's based around Skyrail's level layout. A level that Sonic has never been to canonically. Not even in Generations has he ever gone back to see it. And no, we don't count level mods for that because, well, it's a level mod. It's not canon, duh. So, yeah, no, there's no excuse for that shit. There really isn't. The levels are insanely short. 90% of them, or not even like 90%, like around a certain percent, most of the levels are just based around the different layouts from older games. And I was even more sick of it because we keep on seeing reused shit in Sonic games and it was getting annoying. And I know what you're probably thinking, well, Shadow Generations technically does that. Yes, but they do it in an actual unique way and makes the levels actually longer and choose levels that we haven't seen in quite some time. So naturally, I would be more fond of that in comparison. Because, Jesus Christ, man. I'm done seeing fucking Green Hill and all that shit, dude. It's actually really fucking annoying. I cannot say, like, exactly when I started feeling this way towards Frontiers. I know it was before the release of Update 1. But even then, right? I don't know the exact, like, time for it. Like, it could have been a little before, could have been a little after, I don't know. All I know is for Frontiers should have gone to Pirate Bay. Sorry, had to do like one little Radical Soda joke right there. Yeah, basically I don't like Frontiers because the main replay value for Sonic games for me, it wasn't in that game. Now, don't get me wrong, the open zone itself isn't bad for Chronos and a good portion of Ares Island. But from Chaos and beyond, it's a shit show, and I don't like it. I don't like any of it. Hell, the final island is literally just reskin Kronos. It even has the same fucking medallion, so... I don't fucking know, man. So yeah, I don't like Frontiers, and a lot of people, well, obviously disappointed in my opinion on it. For the most part, they respected it, right? They were just like... And hell, some of those people came from the side of after the updates came out, and were just like, yeah, we didn't really like the updates too much. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not that everybody just liked the new updates that came out. There was a lot of people who liked Update 1, 2, and 3. But I bet if you guys know about Frontiers, you would know that Update 3 had the most diverse of opinions for that one, and for good reason, obviously. For those who had fun, yeah, they had a lot of fun with it. But for those who didn't, oh god, did they really fucking hate it. Long story short, right? You would think that people would just respect my opinion and we move on. This is where the funny joke comes into play. There was a certain individual, if you will, and I will not disclose of their name because I don't want to laugh that hard. I will have a panic attack. But also because I kind of respect their privacy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Meh, who cares? But anyways, this was someone who I wouldn't even say I was friends with at all. Sure, I friended them on, like, Discord and other stuff, but we never really did anything with one another. They were more of an acquaintance at best. Not to say that I didn't necessarily want to be their friend or anything. We just never really clicked in a lot of ways, if that makes sense. We never really clicked in a lot of ways, and honestly, I wasn't really bothered by that by any means. I was perfectly fine with the idea of just, you know, being an acquaintance, you know, they pop by my streams, I pop by theirs, and whatever, right? And that would be history, you know? They showed up for the Sonic Omen stream, the worst Sonic fan game of all time, Sonic Omens. If you haven't seen me playing that game, I recommend doing so. It's on my main channel. And I basically just played through the entirety of Sonic Omens. Genuinely a trash game. It's honestly one of the worst Sonic fan games I've ever played. Not the worst, because we gotta remember, it was a Sonic, what was it? It was the one with the virus. It was like the malware virus or whatever. Something Battle. I think it was Gather Battle. I think it was Sonic Gather Battle. That's definitely one of the worst. Because, like, Sonic Omens, at least it doesn't give you a fucking virus. So, it's at least got that going for it. But anyways, let's get a little bit back on track. So anyways, like I said, I started disclosing my displeasure towards Frontiers a little after Update 2 came out. And one of the main complaints I had with it was the spin dash being locked behind shit, when the spin dash has always been a staple for Sonic's kit. And how you needed to get the spin dash was just absolutely god-awful. I don't care who you are. That shit was absolutely trash, and I would rather I would rather a battery ram just go through my fucking stomach, bruh. Honestly. But if I recall, so I made a joke. I don't remember if I brought this up right now or not, but I made a joke. Well, not really a joke, because it wasn't. But on Twitter, I made a tweet saying, when's the next mainline Sonic game? Can't wait to be disappointed once more. You know, obviously taking a jab at the factor that I didn't really like Frontiers at all, and it slowly grew to be a disappointment for me. And they simply just went saying, so you're no longer satisfied with Sonic Frontiers because of an optional update. No, considering that it's an update, it's not optional at all. In fact, it's actually mandatory. You are forced to have this update. Now, if you mean in terms of Update 3, right, and its content, because technically you got to do an entirely separate thing to even access it in the first place, no, you'd still actually be wrong. Now, fundamentally, yes, it is optional, but a lot of us for Update 3 expected it to be the next part of the story, or at the very least, a redo of the final part of the story with improved shit to it. So no, that's not technically optional because we wanted it to be good, right? That was my original thought process. And if you want to get technical, purchasing the game was also optional, you know? Purchasing the game is optional. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. That's 40 bucks I'm never getting back. Right? But and at first I decided, you know what? I'm not going to respond to it, right? I'm not going to respond to it because I don't want to stir up anything with that. Because I just didn't want to talk about Frontiers anymore. I really didn't. So I decided to keep my mouth shut in the scenario. And I just assumed that we would forget about the situation, whatever, and nothing bad would come out of it, right? Unfortunately, I was, well, not necessarily wrong, but I also wasn't correct either. Because they unfollowed me on Twitter, unfriended me on Discord, and I might be dead. No, I'm not, because Supersonic's broken in this game. But anyways, they unfriended me, they unfollowed me on a lot of stuff, and I assume they unfollowed me on Twitch too. I can't really say whether or not that's true, because Twitch, you can't look through your... Well, actually, you probably can look through your follows, but I don't remember how to do that anymore, so... But I'm just going to take the assumption that they did unfollow me on there. Not that it matters, because I don't stream on Twitch anymore, at least not for right now. Until they can get their shit fixed. What was the other objective? Oh, I need to do the time trial thing. That's gonna fucking suck. I'll just focus on everything else right now, though, because it's kind of on its own way. I originally was like, oh, okay, you're gonna get upset over an opinion? That was my original thought process. Because I'm sitting back like, why would you unfollow me for just my opinion, right? If I, like, back-talked to you about it, right, and was trying to say that my opinion was objectively correct, which it's not, right? It's just my opinion, then I could understand you being upset with me, you know? That would be 100% understandable and 100% valid. No one would blame you for being upset with me if I did something like that. I didn't even interact with you, bro. I didn't even interact with you, and you're just deciding to, like, what happened to you, like, texting me first and shit, wanting to be friendly and all that? Yeah, but then again, with how you did talk, you always seemed kind of uninterested in my existence, so maybe I should have guessed that. I don't know. So, and what I did today, right, or at least at the time of me recording this video, I did a little thing where I quote retweeted that, and for reference, that tweet I got, that reply I got was like over a year ago, so I don't care. I quote retweeted it, saying like, cough, hated the game before update 1, and then deleted the quote retweet. Because I thought it would be funny, right? I just thought it would be super funny. Now on my main channel, I kept on my main channel, I have a thing that says fucking that exact thing. Like it just says cough, hated Frontiers update before update 1, right? Because I thought it was funny. But I know that in the future, if something bad goes wrong, if they see that, if they decide to interact with it, that they're going to think I'm stirring up drama. When in reality, no, I just thought it was funny. That's all it was. And it's like, you don't interact with me anymore, and like, it's not like I had malice behind it. All I said was just cough. I just didn't like it before update 1. That's it. I didn't say anything hateful. I was just stating the fact. That's all it was. And it wasn't even like said in a bad way. Like the cough, I could see how you may think it's a little bit, like it's got a bit of like malice to it. Just like, oh, well, you didn't have to add that. You're right, I didn't. But that's why I thought it was funny, you know? That's why I thought it was fucking funny. But the humor of people these days have always been drying out over time, you know? They take everything too critically, and it's really funny. I mean, I'm barely any different. I mean, I'm making this video after all. But it's also mainly because I wanted to share the story behind it, because I genuinely think it's fucking hilarious how some people can actually be upset with the shit that I did. Or I guess more accurately, what humans do. And that's have an opinion. And not really doing much with it. You know? Just simply saying, hey, I'm not a fan of this game. Woo. I don't know if they were primarily upset because I didn't respond to them, the fact that I didn't like Frontiers, or the fact that I didn't really explain why I disliked Frontiers. But it doesn't matter, because regardless of what the answer is, it's kind of petty, really, when you think about it. It's kind of stupid. Like, like it's almost as dumb as me talking. Like, it's almost as bad as a situation I had where when Code Vein came out, I was talking about how much I loved the game and I loved it more than Dark Souls, because I did, and I still do. And someone who I used to consider a friend, got really mad at me, sent me an angry message and blocked me on Discord after I talked about it. And I was just like, wow, you really couldn't handle an opinion? Are you kidding me? Like, this doesn't affect you. You don't even play Code Vein. Why does it matter to you whether or not I like it more than Dark Souls? I'm sorry, but that's just sad. That's just fucking sad. But no, that's kind of what it reminded me of. Because, like, I did nothing wrong. I just existed. That's essentially all I did. But, no, I guess they didn't see it that way. And I mean, I don't necessarily care at all. I really shouldn't care. But the only part that I do care about for it, right, was how fucking funny it was. And that's kind of just how I am these days with interactions like these online. Seeing how people react to the stupidest of things, I'm sitting back just like, you guys are acting like a bunch of toddlers. Like, really, dude. If you're gonna get upset over someone's opinion over a game about a blue anthropomorphic hedgehog, you need help, man. I'm sorry, but you need help. If something like this genuinely riles you up, you need help. Like, that's so sad if you're gonna get all ticked off because of that. It's so gross, man. Like, I may talk shit about people liking Sonic Labyrinth more than Sonic Blast, even though objectively speaking as a game, Blast is better. But do I try to change their opinion on it or try to get shit out of them for it? No. If that's how they feel about Sonic Labyrinth in comparison to Blast, then I have no reason to go against that. Do you want to know why? Because it's their opinion and it doesn't affect me, so why should I care, right? So long as they're not being a douche about it, then I really don't give a fuck. So it's like, yeah. So anyways, that's the story I kind of wanted to go over for this video. Yeah, basically, long story short, to recap, I used to like Sonic Frontiers, and now I don't really like it anymore. And that got someone a little upset with me. Not doing anything major, but they might if they dislike what I did. Like, I mean, honestly, even if they do try to respond to me or whatever, I'm not going to respond back. Because A, that'll just add fuel to the fire, and B, I think it'll be just funny if I don't, you know? I'm in it for the funnies on the internet these days, right? That's kind of my mindset now with the internet and interacting with people. Like, okay, let me be more accurate, right? It's not like I don't want to forge friendships, or it's not like I want to be a dick to people, right? Because obviously I want to try to avoid being a dick, and if there are some people who I want to be friends with, then yeah, I gotta make it happen and whatnot. But whenever I do stuff with, like, other people, whether it be acquaintances or whatever, 90% of the time, it's usually just me joking around. Just kind of being an internet, I guess an internet clown, if you will. There's no better way to explain it. I'm basically just an internet clown, really. I do that with other people. They don't really care. They really don't, unless you're the Chaos Spirit, and you just get upset by me saying that there's negative number of Sonic fans, which I'm a Sonic fan myself, so obviously it's not in the negatives, you dumb fuck. When it comes to the internet, when people are upset with me, or whatever, I just think, okay, how can I make this about nobody but the funnies, and the funnies alone? How do I do that? That's what I usually do. I just don't care. But it's super funny to talk about. I think it's super funny to talk about. And hey, it works since I'm going to be using this channel more often to talk about a bunch of random stuff. I might as well talk about this topic, especially since it's been over a year since the original interaction. And also over a year since the release of Update 3 for Frontiers. I just genuinely fucking thought it was funny. But, people's humors are broken these days, like I said. So, it is what it is. But, anyways, yeah. That's kind of all I had for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me going on this little tangent, and just remember, if someone doesn't like something, whether it be they change their opinion on it or just they never did like it in the first place, keep to yourself, alright? They have their reasons to not like it. You don't need to make a reason to be a cunt about it. Simple as that. That's kind of how I see it. Like, I get it. I get it. You want to defend whatever IP or game that they're talking about. I get it. But it doesn't give you an excuse to be a cunt. That's for damn certain. It does not excuse that at all. So, that's kind of all I really wanted to say. Again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know what other topics I'll talk about in the future on this channel. It'll just heavily depend on what I'm really feeling for, you know. Maybe I'll have some sort of extra story that I can tell, and we can have a laugh about it, you know. We can chuckle, we can, you know, all that shit. That's all I really want. Is just for you guys to kind of laugh at the weird situations I get myself in. Not like I'm a story like time YouTuber, like nothing like that at all, because these stories are not at all really interesting. But it's just stuff I wanted to talk about, you know. Get out there, if you will. But yeah, I'll stop stalling now. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and be sure to, of course, check out my main channel on YouTube, because that's where I do a bunch of stuff. By the time of me recording this video, I'm currently editing the highlights for the Sonic X Shadow Generations stream that I did. So if you guys want to see my reactions to that, be sure to get on ready to when that gets uploaded. And the full VOD is also on the YouTube channel itself, because I do stream on YouTube now in comparison to Twitch. That might change, but as of now, that's how it is. So be sure to check that out, especially if you like more Sonic-related content. Maybe I can talk some more about Sonic stuff or whatever. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever it is where you're at, and just be sure to have a good one.